Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, the guy making all the decisions when it comes to gaming at Microsoft, just had one amazing interview. Not only did he go into the xCloud and the future there, he also went into Game Pass and how it's going to shape what they do for a very long time. But most of all, he talked about how he feels about the future of Xbox compared to their competitors. Yeah, that's right. He talked about how he feels in regards to what they have ready to show us, the gamers, this coming July. And like always, he was very confident when he spoke, but most of all, he admitted that they had to listen to fans and they heard our complaints about the last Xbox show. And like I've said before, I feel even better when a company admits they had to stop and rethink how they market their product due to their fans giving them feedback. So I want to get into this interview and discuss the main points Phil Spencer brought up, because it was a pretty long interview and there was a lot said. But most of all, there is a lot of positive news surrounding Xbox. Not to mention a little bit of shade thrown towards PlayStation and how loud their console is. No, I'm not joking. He legit made a comment that inadvertently destroyed the PlayStation 4's very popular jet engine console sound. Either way, let's get into this interview and see exactly what was said. But first, like always, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about has to be what Phil Spencer said about the PS5 show and how he feels about the July event coming up. And you know what? I have to say, I have high expectations for the July event. I really do think this will be the time Xbox shows a lot of games, and most of those will be first party. I mean, for the last several years, they've been working on games that have invested so much money in their studios that now is the time to show them. Not to mention, it's the only time to show it considering the Xbox Series X is coming out this holiday season. So they must show what they have now. And from what Phil Spencer is saying in this interview, Xbox knows that's exactly what they have to do. Especially when he was asked about the PS5 reveal event and what he thought after seeing the show. At first, he complimented Jim Ryan and said he contacted him and said good show and that they were impressed with what Sony had to show. But after the formalities were done, he revealed what he truly thought about the show and how it stacks up to Xbox. Here's what he had to say. Phil, I'm just being honest. I felt good after seeing the Sony show. I think the hardware advantages that we've built will show up as we are talking more about our games, frame rates, and other things. I feel good about July and the gameplay we are going to be showing there. In those few sentences, Phil Spencer exemplifies exactly what separates Xbox from all their other competitors. And one of the biggest advantages Xbox does have is the hardware that the Xbox Series X is going to provide. Not only with the CPU and GPU power, but also the software they have developed within the hardware. But not only that, he literally says he feels really good about their show after seeing the show Sony put up. I mean, really, come on, that's so confident. And I have to admit, I enjoyed the PlayStation 5 show. They brought out some great games that I'm extremely excited about. And if this was any other year, I would say that Xbox has a tall order ahead of them to top that show. But after seeing the marketing push Xbox has been doing and all the awesome studios they've brought in and all the investment in first party, I feel they're going to show up and actually try to top this. I mean, I just made a video earlier this week talking about Xbox wanting to do mic drop moments at this event. Well, this quote right here does indicate that rumor was true. And that's not all. He also mentions the first party lineup and how they feel very good about what they have ready to show in the July event. You know, the giant event that was confirmed by Xbox all the way back in May where they had their first showing. The May event where they showed third-party games and exclusive third-party games that were running on the Xbox Series X. Now, I know this event wasn't met with a positive reaction from a lot of gamers, which Phil Spencer points out when he says this. The hardware advantages that we've built will show up. I feel good about our games lineup and our first-party content show in July. We've taken user feedback from the last event, and I think people will be pleased about what will be showcased. I mean, he said they took the feedback from the last event and are ready to showcase what they have, which will please a lot of people. Let's hope that promise is kept, because right now they have no excuses and they must show gameplay. Yet again, something Phil Spencer mentions, saying they will have Halo Infinite gameplay there and they think it's going to impress a lot of people, especially since Halo is the biggest franchise Xbox has. And of course, this interview was put up after Halo's Twitter account put that Atriox recording online, and it had the whole gaming world going crazy, including me. But to me, the best quote in this whole interview has to be what he said right after this, where he talked about the design of the Xbox Series X and who it's built for. Here's what he had to say. We really set up to be player-led in designing the Xbox Series X. We want the power inside of the console to be predictable and to be easy to develop for. Now, this is something I find to be one of the best features of the Xbox console. The fact that developers are able to make a very easy transition to the next generation Xbox. Because I've said this before and I'll say it again, the most important customer Xbox has is the developer, because they're the ones making the games for us to enjoy. They put the hard work into making the games and aren't always given the easy task of making these games on optimized hardware. And hearing that they made the development process on the Xbox Series X familiar does make me smile, especially when the Dirt 5 developer who just had an interview with Major Nelson said the same thing, that it wasn't a hard task making their game on the Xbox Series X, and that the tools to make games on it were almost the same for the Xbox One. That's such a great thing for developers, because it brings familiarity back for them and it makes them transition to the next generation even better and get more out of the hardware sooner. But Phil Spencer didn't leave Sony out. He had nice things to say about them and how their success has made them want to be better. Here's what he had to say. Sony did a great job with their event. I'll also say, as a gamer, it's nice to see both of us out there and competing. I think the competition leads to better outcomes for both companies, and I love that. If you've been watching any of my videos, you know I always say competition is great for one type of person, which is us, the gamers. I love to see Sony and Xbox go head to head and compete in hardware, games, features, and everything else in between. And it's great to see Phil Spencer actually agree with that sentiment and even promote it, saying it brings out positive outcomes for both companies. That to me shows that they are self-aware and understand that a lot of the first-party games Sony has brought out are great and highly rated, which in turn makes Xbox want to do the same or even make better games to compete. Something they didn't do for a very long time, but now seem dead set on doing just that, especially when it comes to the diversity of games Xbox has been making the last couple of years. To me, they have the most diverse first-party games I've ever seen, no matter what platform you like. And Phil Spencer points that out, as the article says right here. With regards to how Microsoft intends to measure up its upcoming first-party content with Sony's acclaimed PlayStation exclusives, the head of gaming at Microsoft said the goal won't be to replicate what other people have done. He also added he's proud of the diversity of content that the Xbox game studios are creating, and mentioned it'll be a mainstay going forward. You know, I'm actually glad he said this, because I honestly love playing different types of games. I never want to play the same type of game day in and day out. One day I'll play a first-person shooter and enjoy myself, the next I'm playing Ori and trying to solve complex puzzles or get through a tough part of the game. And the next day I'm playing with my friends on Minecraft Dungeons and having a blast. That's something I think a lot of first-party developers going against Xbox just don't have. They don't have the diverse lineup that really shakens up the type of games I play every single day. But the game that really sold me on Xbox wanting to make diverse games has to be Gears Tactics. I mean, that game really surprised me. I beat it in one weekend and had a blast doing it. I loved every single minute, but again, it was a completely different game that Xbox decided to make, and I appreciate that they did. So let's hope they continue to do that. And with the hardware advantages and the diverse first-party Xbox game studios they have, I expect them to do just that. And it's something that I think we'll see when Xbox has their big July event. I don't expect to see just big AAA games. I expect to see some surprises and maybe some diverse games we didn't see coming, along with those AAA games. And that excites me, because I want to see new experiences and play games that I didn't even know I wanted. Something like Sea of Thieves, which I fell in love with, and you know what? I didn't even know I wanted that type of game. But now let's get into the savage moment of the interview, where Phil Spencer takes a shot at Sony and their super loud PS4 and PS4 Pro consoles. I mean, come on, I don't think he meant to say this, but made it come out like he was taking a shot. Here's what he had to say. We want to hear the games first, not our console. I mean, Come on, that's such a savage thing to say. And the guy interviewing him was on camera and kind of started giggling, and I felt he was caught off guard by the statement. Now, I know Phil Spencer is a super nice guy and is always trying to give props to Sony and other competitors in the gaming industry. So when I heard him say that, I honestly paused the video, went back to hear it again in case I misheard him. Nope, he said it and it made me laugh because the PS4 Pro I have is super loud. I mean, at times I feel like a helicarrier from the Avengers is starting up to fly away. But alright, all jokes aside, I found this to be pretty funny and it made me laugh out loud actually. But either way, I think he was trying to say he wants the games to do the talking, not the console. While the console is awesome and most people are talking about it right now because it's new and we're about to get our hands on them in a couple of months, Phil wants the games to be the vocal point and he wants them to be the reason you buy the console, not the hardware and the cool tech behind it, which if you ask me, is still important. But instead buy the games that are coming to the console because they're going to be possible because of that hardware. It's a great selling point and it's something I can't wait to see happen. And I have to say, this interview was very well done. I thought the questions were very well put together. I thought what Phil Spencer had to say shed some light on the future of Xbox, and I thought the whole thing was a great listen. I highly recommend everyone to check it out because it got me not only excited for the July event that's only a couple of weeks away, but it got me excited to be an Xbox fan. You know what? Scratch that. It got me excited to be a gaming fan because I know that Xbox and Sony will battle it out in order to get my dollar. Now that's what I call customer friendly. But enough of what I think about all of this. Tell me what you think about all of this. Do you like what Phil Spencer had to say in the interview? Did you laugh at the shot he took at Sony? What games do you want to see at the July event? Will Xbox have enough games to battle what the PS5 showed? What advantages do you think Xbox has over Sony for this July event? Do you think we'll get the price of the Xbox Series X at the July event? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Right now, I'm playing The Last of Us 2. I'm trying to get through the whole game. I'm having a lot of fun. I played last night. I'm going to be playing today and all weekend. I'm not going to be putting the game down. I really want to get through it because I actually want to make a review for this game. I think it's well deserved. And go down below and tell me what you guys are playing. Are you playing The Last of Us 2 or are you guys working through your backlog? Let me see what games you guys are playing in the comments. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. And until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.